3, 2, 1.
Okay, you're with the Editor-in-Chief Live. Welcome to the program, November the 13th. Good evening.
Duncan Garner, live.
Evening, everybody. I'm Duncan Garner. Welcome. Thank you for following us. Leave us a comment. All the details are there, of course. Now, with unemployment up, you might be looking for a job, okay? So how do you stand out from other people to a potential employer? What are your achievements? And something that you might not consider actually important is actually crucial in securing you that next job. Don't sell yourself short. Tom O'Neill will join me very, very shortly. And I don't know who needs to know this, or I don't know who needs to hear this, but just who is Stephen Setu? I ran into this guy at the Avondale Gull. He said under his breath, Duncan Garner, and my son said, it's Stephen Setu. He said, you got to get me on your podcast, and I said Wednesday. So tonight, the most famous Polynesian in New Zealand on social media will join me, from talking about Trump to urging his people to vote Trump. Why is he so popular? Why does he back Trump, and how would he describe himself? So he will join us very, very shortly. Let's go.
Duncan Garner, live.
Yeah, it threatens to be a lot of fun, this. Do you want to stand out to a potential employer? It's time you lost the humility and started looking at your achievements. You've probably got heaps that you don't even think about. And let your new boss or potential boss know about them. What have you done and just how well you did? It's about selling yourself, and it suddenly got really competitive out there in the employment space. Dozens and dozens of people going for one job. So Tom O'Neill is with me. And sir, how do we do this? How do we promote ourselves and be humble at the same time?
Yeah, well, fantastic question, my friend. At the end of the day, there's only one time in our society we're allowed to talk about how good we are at something we are good at, and that's the job hunt. And people, unfortunately, hit the market and just really talk about their responsibilities and leave it to the interviewer to really decide, whether or not, how the interview is going to run. What we really need to do is, beforehand, take stock of our achievements. Of course, our CV, to sell ourselves through our brochure, our website, i.e. our LinkedIn profile, and of course for the interview.
So what's an achievement? I mean, what we might consider an achievement is not an achievement. What we might, we might have buried all these things in our past. So what is it, and how far back do we go?
Yeah, well, see, great question. At the end of the day, an achievement is something that to a large extent is something more than what's on the job description. So, for example, many people may have been awarded further responsibility in their role. So they, it happens a lot. You'll be in a job, you do really great, great work, and then the boss comes on and says, "Oh, look, hey, nice one. Look, can you do these 5 extra things?" No extra pay, no better job title, but you just end up doing more stuff. That's actually important to capture for a potential recruiter because it shows your ability to evolve in a role. Of course, in things like sales, meeting, exceeding KPIs, targets, administration, helping set up some new systems, putting some new processes in place. Construction could be big, projects you've been involved in. But we really need to stop and think about, what are the things that help set me apart?
And also, what about things outside of work? So if you're achieving on the outside, in sports or arts or drama or whatever that's not associated with work whatsoever, do you push that? You push that stuff is to show that you're a bit of an all-rounder?
Yeah, well, I once had a client who was going for a management role and they didn't have any management experience. And you're like, oh, okay, well, bit of work to do here. And then after chatting with her, she was actually one of the heads of Surf Lifesaving New Zealand and had like 300 staff reporting to her in a voluntary capacity. And she's like, I didn't realise that was, I could put that. And I'm like, mate, that's awesome. Yeah. It's an incredibly respected organisation. It's super tangible in terms of numbers. This is something you definitely should be putting your hand up for. And so, again, if it's relevant to the role, man, there's some really great stuff that you can pull out potentially from your voluntary or part-time work experience.
It may be that you've been voted on to as the chair of your local school. Now, if you're the chairperson of the board of trustees of your local school, that means you have popular support within the school. People know they think you're credible and got integrity. You've got to put things like that down, especially if you're into a leadership role or some role of responsibility.
Look, 100%. I mean, it shows a sign of your capacity, not just leadership, but also you care. You care about your community. You care about the young people in your area. It says all these certain things that, just being a great salesperson necessarily doesn't say. So it adds a whole lot of other tangible things to the mix. And a lot of the time when we share an achievement, so for example, leading a board of trustees, other tangible skills drop out in a real world sense. So your ability to be involved in governance, your ability to lead teams, probably your ability to manage conflict, your ability to work and develop policy. All these things literally pop out just by saying on the school board.
Since the last time we spoke, unemployment's gone up. And I wonder, can you just tell people how competitive the marketplace is now? A couple of years ago, when you're going for a job, it might only have been 3 of you, and you might have stood out like a sore thumb. Brilliant, excellent, you'll get the job. But now it's the game's completely changed, right?
Look, 100%, mate. I always say you got to sell yourself to an employer, And too often we just go and go, oh, look, here I am, what do you think? We need to flip it on its head. Look at what the employer is seeking and give that back to them. End of the day, they're in a position, they've got 100 people who, want the job. Probably 50 of those could do the job. So what helps set me apart? And again, A, knowing your achievements, and B, looking at what they want and giving that back to them. That's all part of the sales process. If you're wanting to buy a car and you've got, a young family and, a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old, you want a certain car to do certain things with, a certain amount of space and all that stuff. I'm not going to try and sell you a Ferrari. Yeah. That's the thing. You've got to listen to what they want and give it back to them.
The final question. The listing stuff's not that good in our society these days. I find that people have tried to sell me after a Honda Legacy, I was out, I had my Odyssey, so I needed an Odyssey because I had all these kids all of a sudden. I had all these kids, and they were still trying to sell me the Ferrari. They thought I was on a TV budget or something. They had Ferrari. All I wanted was a car that had the people mover. That's what I needed.
And this is what people do wrong. They rock into an interview just trying to sell the wrong things. Yeah. Well, in actual fact, we need to think about who is the audience. The audience is that recruiter. The audience is that HR manager or the boss. That's who I'm trying to sell. Me too.
It can make you angry, actually, when they don't listen. Tom O'Neill, you're the man. Appreciate it, mate. cv.co.nz for all details. Appreciate it, man.
Always a pleasure, mate. Thanks so much.
You take care.
Duncan Garner, live.
Yeah, okay. Did you send a CV in for the job, Isaac, when you got this job? Do you remember sending a CV in when you came in? A CV? I don't think I ever saw one.
Yes, I did.
Right. How come it wasn't put in front of me as editor-in-chief?
Oh, sorry, I've just lost you. I can't hear you.
I wasn't given it anyway. It doesn't matter.
I can't hear you. I've lost something.
That's okay.
Maybe go to something else.
I'll go to something else. You work that one out. The good thing was your CV was actually excellent in the end, and you said you're a problem solver, so let's hope you can sort that one. Right.
3 questions from the editor-in-chief.
Let's do 3 questions at one.
1.
Guess who's in charge of dog or doggy? It might be doggy. It's the acronym for the Department of Government Efficiency. Anyway, Donald Trump has put Elon Musk in charge of finding the waste of space in Washington. He's in charge of cleaning up the mess. Get rid of anyone I wouldn't like is probably what he's really said. Those are the orders. So clean up the waste is what Elon Musk is now doing. Now, one person's rubbish is another man's golden prize, so just what constitutes waste may come down to interpretation. Elon, get rid of him. Elon was always going to get a gig, but, oh my God, he's coming for you. Watch out, Washington. Watch out, America.
2.
Number 2, so jealous. Where else would you rather be tonight? Coldplay? Isn't it? I predict the concert will be mesmerising. I saw people lining up this morning, really early this morning. Don't limit Eden Park to just 6 concerts a year. Opening it up has seen the talent pour into the country. Double it, then double it again. It's a stadium. If you live alongside there and you don't like it, move. I mean, the stadium's been there longer than you have. You should have gone elsewhere. It's a big stadium. Let the rockers come and let's play. Just don't pee in people's gardens.
3.
And number 3, from today, businesses will be able to access an online tool to see how women-friendly they are when it comes to the gender pay gap in their company. Nationwide, the gap's 8.2%, but the tool's voluntary, so those who might be embarrassed won't be too keen to use it, so they won't. But if we don't do something about the pay gap, it'll be 2068 before women are paid the same as men for doing the same job. I've got daughters. Another 36 years before they're paid the same as the bloke who's doing the same job. It's going to happen before then, isn't it? Is there motivation to make it happen before then?
Duncan Garner, live.
Now, I don't know who needs to know this, but Stephen Setu walked past me at the petrol station the other day and mumbled my name. I think he did. And then my son, Buster, said, "Oi, Stephen Setu." And I looked at my son. I said, "What?" He goes, "Okay, Stephen Setu." I said, we chatted. Now, he's an influencer, outspoken TikToker. I think a Trump man, old school many ways. Some would love to cancel him, but not me. He's with me. Great to see you, mate.
Hey, it's good to see you too.
Yeah, cool, man.
I tell you, I'm super excited. Look, I even feel like I'm running for the presidency,
Well, I wonder if you almost did it with one of your TikToks the other day.
Well, that's it,
Who are you? What are you?
Well, my name is Stephen Setu. I'm the most controversial Polynesian online on social media space, and I think a lot of times people find that quite intimidating, but I don't give a damn. I don't care about their feelings.
So what are you trying to achieve?
What I'm trying to achieve is truth. I feel like we're living in a society now where everybody is so in their feelings, and I feel like feelings is now become the narrative.
Yeah.
And it's crazy now because back in the days, the sky used to be blue, but if the media tells you that it's green and they try to push and purport that on you, then it's green.
So you're one of these people that's lost faith in the New Zealand media?
Well, I've lost my faith in media in general.
Yep.
You know, I just think it's when you control the media, you control the narrative.
Yep.
And
so you believe the media's been bought?
Well, you know, everything has been bought. Everything has a price in it.
Yep.
So it's good to be a bastion of truth and a bastion of light, and that's what I do. And this is what I think is my God-given purpose, is here to expose the truth. And if it means that I have to be the Trojan horse and lie on the sword, then so I shall lie on the sword.
And so you're a Trump man?
Oh, mate, look, let me tell you something about Trump. When he won, I did the YMCA dance, mate. I don't dance.
Show us.
There we go, mate. It's
a bit like Trump himself.
Oh, there we go, mate. I had to make sure I got the semantics down to play. But, you know, the thing is with Trump, obviously I don't agree with him 100%, and I don't think you would ever agree with anybody 100%. But he is the lesser of both evils. You know, Kamala Harris, you don't know what she is one day. One moment she's, you know, African-American, the next moment she's Indian, the next moment she's Mexican, next moment she's Samoan. So I think even if you just had to base it on the premise of that, who is straight up and who speaks the truth, I would go for Donald Trump just for that.
And see where I think Harris and who lost this is that it wasn't just young men who voted for Trump. 53% of women voted.
Exactly.
For Trump. Now, they may not like everything that he stands for, but what they were worried about was their boys who don't have jobs.
Exactly.
And so their view is that this last lot didn't help them get ahead. In fact, they've probably gone behind.
Right.
So give this guy a go. It's got to be better than the last lot who we've gone backwards. You know,
Sure.
They weren't even speaking their language.
Sure.
That's the language of jobs and working people.
Right, right. Well, the problem with the whole Kamala Harris administration and Biden is that their whole campaign was to push gender identity and try to push against cultural, social
That's not
norms.
how the working poor are talking.
But let's be honest, who would care about that man who's worried whether he has a dick or not, thinking he's a woman, when people can't even afford groceries down in the local Walmart?
And that's why he won it.
Exactly, and that's why he won it. And I feel like the left pushed us so bad to the point where they were trying to make us hate Donald Trump, but it worked in our favor because it just made us want to vote for Trump even more.
Well, it got people voting, you know, Latinos, young men, but women voted. Mothers voted for their sons for a job.
Exactly. Well, that's why we extrapolate back to the whole point of, like, you know, can you trust the media? What is the media? Who controls the media?
Well, look at CNN, and I mean, Trump just goes around them. He went straight to Joe Rogan.
Exactly.
And that's had more than 100 million clicks.
Right.
100 million clicks in the country of 300 million.
And you know what? You know what, Duncan? It just goes to show now that A-list celebrities don't have an influence no more because Kamala Harris, you know, Kamala, whatever her name is, Kamala, you know, whatever her name is, right? If you think about it, she had Taylor Swift, she had Beyonce.
Didn't matter.
She had everybody, right? All their followers equal to about 3.1 billion, whatever it was. Nobody voted. Donald Trump went on podcasts. We are the new influencers. They got to understand that it's now a social media world, and people are no longer watching the TV in the living room. They are watching the TV, which is their cell phone, and that's the reason why I have a platform, and I will probably be running for Prime Minister. That's if I run in general.
You can run in America. You have an American passport, haven't you?
Well, there we go. Yeah, I'm an American national citizen. So, you know, so that's another good thing. So if I'm a single man as well, so if there's any woman out there that wants a green card,
you could be The Rock.
No, I look like The Rock, like a bald
You could
fist.
be. Hey, but you're a conservative, yeah?
There we go. Well, you know, if I had to label it that way, I would label it that way. I just feel like, you know, if you look at the national anthem for any sort of Western country, they have God defend the country, God bless America. But where's the godliness? Where is the godliness? I would argue that there's no godly conservativeship. I think they're trying to sway away from what...
Oh, no, there's been a push for Antichrist.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why, and if you look at countries like United Arabs of Emirates or Saudi Arabia or countries like Qatar, they, you know, obviously they don't just demonize everybody, but they have their standard. They go by what the Quran says, and everybody's afraid to...
And they're staunchly.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like we need to go back to the premise. The problem now with the Western countries is you can't really point to who is in the government. You don't know who's making the decisions. At least if something goes wrong in Russia, you can point to Putin.
Yeah.
Something goes wrong in North Korea, you can point
to this guy now.
Christopher Lux.
No, Trump. You can point to Trump. Yeah, Trump's in charge, right?
There we go. He's Trump.
He's put Elon Musk in there today.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
I think this is not surprising.
Okay.
Because Musk has had a huge part in his campaign.
Okay.
All right, including money. There was always going to be some kind of payback.
Sure.
And he's not hiding it. He's put it in our face. And what I like about Trump is that it's in your face.
Exactly.
You don't have to go looking for it under the table.
Exactly, and that's what I was saying. If you can vote for Trump basically on the premise of that, is that he's so transparent, and I would prefer somebody that's super transparent.
History's not all. It's not. It hasn't always been like that. I mean,
okay.
Look at some of the other issues around the court cases and everything. Anyway, where the guy's a convicted criminal.
Well,
Doesn't matter.
Look, I'm not going to judge him by his character. All I'm going to go by is that if I had to choose out of a person who can withstand the wherewithal as a president, if you think about it, Donald Trump almost got shot live TV, and twice, exactly. And it just so happens that the Secret Service didn't secure that building. Wow. Yeah, you know what I mean?
You're pretty competent. You think there's some conspiracy
mate, you could
around?
get better security guards, the one that look after Red Badge and everything like that down at the Mount Smart Stadium.
So what do you think is going to happen?
I think what's going to happen is he's going to bring back common sense. I think we've lost fucking common sense, mate.
We've lost the ability to listen to.
Well, back 20 years ago, when you go on a date, you were like, oh, I'm going to meet up with my girl. Now you don't even know if it is a girl. Common sense is just so out of.
I think the numbers are still in our favour.
Common sense is.
When did you last meet a girl?
Common sense is out the window, and I think that's what Donald Trump brings back is common sense, where there was two genders, nuclear family, and you grow old and live happy together, and the man goes out and gets the job.
But the world hasn't been like that for a long time, though. I mean,
exactly. Well, I feel like
I live with my mum.
Do you?
Yeah. Because I had a divorce. I live with my mum.
Yeah, but the question is, how much money do you give your mum? That's your mum should be living with you. That's probably the other way.
Maybe she is living with me. Maybe I've taken over. Nah, it's just in between. In between. You talk about our kids. About it's a social media world. What's your following? How big's your numbers?
Well, the thing is, I've been banned many times, so my numbers ruffle anywhere around about 800,000, somewhere around in the ether.
That's your followers.
Yeah, because that's across all social media platforms. I had a TikTok account that it skyrocketed to 1.5 million followers, and then obviously due to my rhetoric that I like to spit online, they banned that.
So
and
you
were
banned.
I've been banned many times, sir. If there was a Guinness Book of Records for somebody who's been cancelled the most on TikTok, I probably perhaps would win that title.
And you've been cancelled. And what was the material like?
I was just talking about things that people don't like to really talk about. The alphabet
isn't it?
The alphabet community. People don't really like to talk about the alphabet community, about government.
But isn't it interesting though? You're not allowed to. You're good. Everyone should have. It's like assholes. We've all got opinions, right?
Right. Exactly.
We've all got assholes. All got opinions. So with that, they didn't like your opinion.
Yeah.
I find that interesting.
Exactly.
So I may not agree with you on everything, but I'll give you a platform.
And I appreciate you.
And that is free speech.
Mm-hmm.
That genuinely what is free speech. Now I know some journalists, I won't name them, but I know some journalists who won't interview certain people for different stories because they don't like their point of view.
Exactly. But let me tell you something. The only way you can cancel hate speech is with more hate speech. That's the only way you can cancel it. The moment you try to silence a minority, then that's actually tyranny, and that's what they do in those sort of those countries that are run by criminals. So we got to explore that avenue and let everybody. Well, what country isn't run by criminals, isn't it? But I feel like we need to be able to speak free speech. And who made you the arbiter of truth?
Yeah, look, I'm big on this. I will not block anyone or stop anyone from speaking to me.
Exactly, and that's what I appreciate about you.
And I've got to do that, mate.
Exactly.
I may not agree with you, but I may not even like you. I like you, but I may not even like you.
Yeah.
But I want to hear it.
Exactly.
That's why people don't interview Don Brash, because they don't like to hear his views on Māori. So they won't. The prevailing media won't talk to him.
There we go, and it's even happening now with David Seymour and everything.
Correct. Yeah. You did right.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying, it's gone to the point now where even like podcasts, they're afraid to get me on, and they want to platform.
I'm afraid to let you go.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, buddy. They platform all these people that they say they want to platform, like the doctor from Samoa, the surgeon from Tonga. They want to platform them, and they only get about 200 to 300 views. As soon as they platform me, I break the record and become the most viewed on their podcast. So then again, it begs the question then, why is it they want to stop? I realize this, Duncan. I realize that freedom of speech only exists when you actually have an influence. Because if you don't have an influence, when nobody listens, you can be as free as you want. The homeless man down the street
He can yell out
out the exact same rhetoric that I speak, say the exact same thing, but if nobody is not going to question it, he has no influence, he can do it as long as he wants. As soon as people listen,
but
they cut you down.
So, as soon as you have a platform, okay, you can have a platform, no one can listen. You have a platform, at least they can find you, right?
Correct.
The homeless guy doesn't have a platform.
Exactly.
But you've got a platform. Social media has opened up the world to citizen journalism.
Exactly.
Right, to citizen speak. So citizen speak, and some of them are heard more than others. You're heard.
Right.
Now, that platform is the same platform that my son, all his mates are on. They don't have a radio station they listen to. They don't know what radio is.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly.
They don't know what television is. They don't sit down and watch live-to-air television.
Right.
Okay? It's all this.
Exactly.
And so these are tomorrow's voters. They're only 4 years away from voting.
Right.
It's all social media. The game is flipped on its head, not in 10 or 20 years, in the space of 3 or 4.
Well, the thing is, we are living in a social media world.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely asinine to believe that we're not. I think mainstream media now has plummeted in real time. I think nobody really listens to mainstream media. Even if you look at the campaigns now, most of the views were coming from Twitter, from X.
Yeah.
So that's where
TikTok's regarded now as news.
Yeah, exactly. And what's on the MSM, the mainstream media, is not regarded as news, because you would hear the same rhetoric, and then you would say, okay, well, why are they saying this? Who do they vote for? Is this a democratic news media?
That's why Christopher Luxon has 7 social media people working in his office.
Exactly.
Because that's how you there is so much faith lost in the media that these politicians now go directly to the people via social media. They don't. They go around the middleman. Around the middleman. I was a middleman.
Correct.
Now it's here. And I do this live, so you. We don't cut this up. It's live.
Wow. Hey,
Okay?
what's up, everybody?
Yeah, yo.
There we
dog.
go. That's it.
So it's
Yeah,
it's
you
live,
see
and
me?
then it
Got
gets
my skinny side.
And then
Yeah.
I tell you what, I've never been the smallest in this place, but I am now.
Fat shaming.
No, it's
Cancel him. Cancel
We're
him.
both big boned.
There we go. That's it. Well, that's what I like to tell myself every single night when I cry myself to sleep. But you know what I was trying to. Here's the thing about it. It's like, it's absolutely asinine to try to believe that social media doesn't exist now. But the problem with social media as well is that everybody has a community.
Yeah.
So if you say anything about animals, the vegans come after you.
Yeah.
You say anything about the alphabet community, the rainbow community comes after you. So everybody has a community now, which makes people be a lot of people are now are soft cocks now.
Yeah,
they walk around tiptoeing and all that stupid shit now because they're afraid they're going to lose money. But it's like, who cares, mate? Speak the truth.
Have you gone to a pub recently and overheard people talking in pubs? That's old school.
Exactly.
But people are too afraid to do it publicly.
Right.
You're right. But this used to happen.
Mate, that's what I say. Everything I say online that people hate me for is the same thing that they're thinking and they've said worse behind closed doors.
Yeah, that's the other thing,
You know what I mean?
You can't say that.
Like when Donald Trump said grab her by the pussy, you're telling me, that wasn't locker room talk. So you're telling me that if you go into a locker room right now where a group of full testosterone men are, you think that the worst insult...
play rugby, I know.
Exactly, it's worse than that. They're grabbing my cock.
This dude said it was cool. I'll hear him out. I might not agree 100% though, but I'll hear him out.
Oh, there we go,
That's
mate.
why see that's why free speech is important.
Exactly, 100%.
Now, so the kids of today are going to be tomorrow's voters. Not that far away. It's all social media. It's crucial, isn't it?
Right.
There's no filters on this stuff.
There we go.
So how do we know what's true and what's not?
Well, the thing is this, right? You just gotta keep on speaking it with conviction. I feel like that's what separates it. The truth from the liars is the people that are willing to die on the sword and don't switch up their beliefs. I've had many companies reach out to me and try to say, if you wear this certain dress, if you purport this certain hashtag, if you play this certain song, we'll give you thousands of dollars. And I'll tell you, man, I love food. I could fucking buy me a whole restaurant, mate, with all these fucking things. But
after this.
Yeah, but I've turned it down because I want truth to prosper.
Okay, speaking of the truth, the hiko that's on right now, that's it'll be very trendy to support it, and media who will go out there and say, oh, this is great, Seymour's attacking us. But the thing is this. Seymour's got an agreement with his government to get to the first reading. It goes to select committee. I follow this stuff because I worked there for 20 years.
And it's part of coalitions agreements.
It's a coalition agreement. So we've known this for a year that this was going to a select committee, and that's as far as it goes.
Correct.
The government, made up of Winston and Luxon on the other side, they're voting it down.
Correct.
So there won't be the numbers to push it through. And that point is dead in the water. Okay.
Correct.
It's not going anywhere. Now
Correct.
this has been described as a fundamental and a brutal assault on Māori rights by Margaret Motu, Setu, who's a Māori commentator and also activist. She said this is the most brutal assault on Māori that she's seen in 40 years. I say bullshit. This Foreshore and Seabed bill was way more was controversial because it was actually, they put it in place and they stopped them going to court. They stopped a group of people going to court. This one here, it's nothing. Well, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. But, the thing is this, I understand why they would want to go on march. I would understand, but just because I understand doesn't necessarily mean I agree. But the thing is, it hasn't even passed. It went past the first reading, didn't it?
It's going to select committee, then it gets dumped.
Exactly, it gets dumped.
I promise you this. The Prime Minister who said it will not get passed.
Correct. Christopher Luxon's already said he's not going to pass it.
If he passes it, he resigns.
Well, yeah, exactly. He said he's already not going to pass it. Yeah. So I don't know why
he said it a year ago.
Exactly, but it's it's great exercise, I guess. Then
and two government departments have changed their names. They put English before the Māori side of it.
Right.
The Māori Health Authority that's been merged into the Health Authority.
Right.
And there's all sorts of anti-Māori rhetoric, which I think's unhelpful, and it takes you back. And I think Luxon's not experienced enough to get rid of that stuff. But apart from that,
right.
Māori have real players in the economy. The iwi have settled, they're doing well.
Exactly.
And there are others to come yet, and Ngāpuhi needs to settle. But it's not the story that the Māori Party, because you know what the hiko is? It's a protest and drag, because it's the Māori Party membership drive.
Right.
Okay? So Seymour's playing his little tricky game on one side, and so is the Māori Party. They're both on the fringes having their little stunts. That's what it is, mate.
It's all publicity at the end of the day. And I can guarantee you, if I went and had a discussion with many of those Māori people that were walking, none of them would even know the reason why they're protesting in the first place.
Well, there's some Palestinian flags there, but there's kids there. Go to school.
Exactly. There we go. But that's what I'm saying, instead of building the economy, they're out there walking out on the streets, which is... look, at the end of the day, I want to say this, and I want to get this clear. I love my Māori people, and they're great. They're great people. There's huge contingent populace of Māori people that follow me.
We're not saying that. Yeah.
But I feel like also at the same time, Māori people got to do their own research, and they got to explore a little bit more. They can't just take what Auntie Motu said, drunk off her face as
But even the media, some of the media reporting on it's been, the possible changes coming. There's not.
Yeah. But
there's not.
Exactly, but I think the reason why they're probably not trusting Christopher Luxon is because he's already passed it into, they've already first read it, right?
So that's gone to the committee. Yeah, that's right. But
exactly,
he would
reason.
do that.
Yeah, but
that was the coalition negotiation.
Do you trust the government, innit?
No, I never trust the government.
Exactly.
But this is his word.
Okay.
And
it's on live TV, social media.
It's everywhere. I mean, exactly. That's what they're going to do.
Correct. Exactly. But
it's not going to pass.
Yeah, it's not going to pass. Well, he said it's not going to pass. He said it multiple times. It's not going to pass.
So why do they think? Why do these protesters think it's going to?
Man, like I
know they don't trust the Crown. I get that, but come on, I just
think it's education. That's what it is. People just need to feed into. They did a little social experiment as well, even with the terms of the Palestine war, where they were going up to Palestinians saying to Maori people, Samoan people that were wearing the Palestinian flags, and they're saying, "Why are you supporting Palestine?" And they had no clue. They had no idea what flag they were representing.
Well, because there were no flags available left because the Tongans bought them all. What's the deal with the Sea of Red?
Mate, look.
From someone in a sort of a more of a smaller lake of blue, what? Hey.
Oh, wait, look. All I could say is
they're good supporters.
Yeah. There's no people that celebrate like Tongan people. It's the Tongan people, man. They come out all in red, man.
I've worked it out why.
Yeah.
They'd love to win. That's cool.
Yep.
If they don't win, it doesn't matter because we were there.
There we go.
We were there. I think they're brilliant.
Exactly, and it's amazing. I'm pretty sure all the people that own the Chinese shops are stoked. They're ecstatic because they have to keep repurchasing new flags to sell to the populace. But
no warrant of fitness, but plenty of flags.
There we go. You got to update your registration and everything like that. I always say this as well. Make sure when you guys are out on the street parading, I have an actual video about it where I said make sure you go and have a shower. Make sure your warrant of fitness is up to date. Your registration is up to date, because the last thing you want to be doing is spending $685 inside the prison for 685 days. You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying. Hey, masculinity. Your view on masculinity. We lost our way?
Of course we've lost our way, and I think the reason why masculinity is plummeting in real time is because they want control. They're trying to put women in charge of the household, because if women are in charge of the household, they're inclined to make more emotional decisions. Even if you look at COVID, when the government said that you're not going to go and attend grandmother's funeral, you're not going to go and attend granddad's funeral.
There's the stuff up.
If you don't get the jab. So obviously if women are in charge of the household, they have they can say to their beta cucked old husband that's sitting there that wants to get his dick sucked and say, oh, hey, we can... Sorry, am I going...
I understand what you mean by that.
You know what? Sorry, guys. Sorry to all the listeners that listen to this. But all I'm saying is that I feel like this feminists had a name back in the days. There were real strong women that stuck up for women's rights and everything. But I think now the feminist name has been hijacked severely. I think it's hijacked to a group of women that just hate men, and these women will put on these campaigns where they'll say, I hate men, we are the same as men, but then they hire male security guards to protect them. So they even need male security guards to protect their own opinions. How does that even make sense, Duncan?
Yeah, don't ask me
I
to
feel like
interpret it.
Dunkin' Donuts and Dunkin' the Hoops right now, buddy, by saying that. Do you understand me?
No. Hey, no. So tell me this. So tell me
Yes,
this.
sir.
You also you did quite a serious. I think it was on TikTok where you asked your people to vote for Trump. Eh?
That's correct.
You got quite a reaction.
Yeah. A lot of people were saying they like Trump, but it's crazy.
No, your comments are really positive about Trump on there.
Exactly. Well, American Samoa said they vote for Trump.
Yeah, and did they?
Yeah, they made it aware that they vote for Trump. But also as well, I think they're just tired. People are tired, man. They want to make a change. Yeah. They're tired of this bullshit. They're tired.
Promising transformational change is a mistake too, though.
They're just tired. And I honestly feel like him not getting elected the last time in the run had to happen because in order to appreciate the sun, you need to go through the rain. Yeah. And when Donald Trump got elected the first time, everybody hated him. Even Hillary Clinton got the popular vote. Donald Trump didn't get the popular vote. He got the electoral vote.
This is only the second time they've got the popular vote.
Exactly.
Second time.
Exactly.
So he has had a barnstorming finish to this campaign. But I wonder,
he also won the Senate.
Yeah,
he won the House.
He's won everything.
Exactly. Clean sweep.
Yeah. So with that, there's now a lot of expectation.
Yeah.
You reckon he can meet it?
Well, I heard, I don't know if these are all factual at the moment, but I heard things are already happening. I've heard that, China said they're ready for a peaceful agreement. I heard that Hamas saying they're willing to cease fire. So a lot of things are happening straight away. And I think it's because people didn't respect America. Do you honestly think that Putin and Kim Jong-un will sit down with Kamala and have a cup of coffee?
Well, they wouldn't sit down with the other guy because you didn't know if he was going to stay awake.
Sleepy
true.
Joe, he doesn't even know if he was alive. But you know what I find interesting is that everybody knew Sleepy Joe Biden had sleep apnea for the longest. Everybody knew this guy couldn't. They knew for the longest that this man was not fit to run for presidency until he had that debate with Donald Trump and he got obliterated.
But
it
was like that every day.
But that's what I'm saying.
It was like that every day.
Exactly.
The media never really.
Exactly, they didn't care. But did you notice as soon as he had the debate with Donald Trump and Donald Trump beat him so badly online, what happened?
He's not fit. The whole month. It took another whole month to get rid of him.
He's not fit. He's not good. He's not fit enough. We got to get Kamala.
He was like that for years.
You know why? This was all planned because it was literally this whole election was man versus woman. That's what it literally was. It was boy versus girl, matriarchy versus patriarchy.
And they went to the man.
Exactly. That's correct.
Yeah, they also wanted they wanted a job. They want some money.
Well,
they're sick of being unemployed.
Yeah, of course.
Across the country.
Well, the thing is this, if you're going to keep pushing gender identity as your campaign and, all these hormone blockers and all these things.
It's just so not important to people's lives.
Bro, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Do you know how many ops there were in New Zealand last year?
How many?
None. There weren't any. There weren't any last year.
Exactly.
Right? The year before that, I think there was 2.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just like nobody cares.
Yeah.
Who cares? I don't care. We care whether we can go down and
get a feed.
Buy a feed. Man, I love food, Duncan. Can't you see me? I'm not the skinniest man, but
I can't see past you.
Hey, is this turning into a roast battle, man? I think we might be turning into a roast battle
we
now.
Should do it.
There we go.
I better keep moving on. It's good to see you again.
Oh, bro, I love it, man.
My son was excited when he saw you.
Yeah. I appreciate it. You know what I realized as well?
He said to me straight away, Stephen Setu.
Oh man,
as I walked to the door of that girl.
I love that. You know why? Because I feel like the younger people get it.
They get it. No, they got it.
They get it.
They follow Trump.
Exactly. They follow Trump.
These 14-year-olds. Now, I was in a house the other day with my son and his friend, and the mother of the friend said, and the father was questioning the kid, why are you supporting Trump? What's it about Trump? They're trying to steer him off it,
But that's the thing. The young people are smart and they get it. And the thing is, they don't understand that young people have information at their fingertips now. So they can't be deceived. When people say the world's gone worse, I just say the world's been recorded now. Because, 20 years ago, you didn't know whether that guy in Texas got eaten by an alligator. But now, with the internet, the 5-year-old can witness it immediately.
And when they say, does Stephen Setu go on with Duncan? They go, well, yeah, it's just on a dive. And it's not messed with. It's 100% This is what you see is what you get.
And that's what I appreciate about you, Duncan. I think for you, man, you've just always had a career of always being out there and blatant, and I know a lot of people misunderstand you, but...
Do you feel misunderstood?
I'm misunderstood all the
often
time.
misunderstood.
I'm misunderstood all the time, mate. I feel like I found my soulmate, but, I don't represent the rainbow community. So, at the end all I'm trying to say is this, look, personally, I feel like it's time to bring masculinity back. Time to bring masculinity back. And masculinity is a beautiful thing. When people masculinity is so rare that as soon as a person is masculine, it's deemed toxic.
Well, you can't celebrate masculinity. So if you're... Look, okay, I'm going to say this.
This whole world was built by masculinity.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. I hope my daughter doesn't mind. My daughter was 21 recently.
Okay.
And she came around before the 21st to say, Papa, can you, when you come, have a shower, smell nice, and don't wear your hunting and army top, please? As if I would anyway. But she sees me through those eyes that constantly in the eyes of masculinity or whatever. Can you just sort of like maybe just come, get some nice jeans and let's put a top on it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can do that anyway. But she thought I was going to turn up with a hunting rifle and...
I just think masculine...
It's okay to be a man.
Exactly. When people say that men can't be angry and men can't be, aggressive, I'm like, it was angry, aggressive men that built the civilization that you live on.
But, my dad was he had us, growing up and everything.
Yeah.
But, and he softened as well. But, I can be angry and I can be soft and gentle.
Exactly.
Like, you can be both things.
Correct. Yeah,
and caring and nurturing.
Exactly. I always say a masculine man is a person that can knock you out and cradle a baby at the same time.
Yeah, well, if you don't get out of here, that's what I'm about to do in a minute.
It depends, though. I'm losing weight as I'm speaking, so this is kind of cool. Normally I'm always sitting down on a chair, but now I think I've lost about 60 to 40 calories.
I always stand up.
Yeah,
It's probably going to lose 2. You're probably burning 2 calories.
Well, it's probably the first time you're doing stand-up comedy, so...
You're a stand-up guy.
There we go,
I never sit down. No, I find that, and even when I was doing radio, I find I always...
Yeah.
Are you tired? You're leaning on this?
No. No. I'm trying to gaze into your eyes, buddy.
Yeah, well, I don't represent the rainbow community.
Okay, well, that's us. We're twins, soulmates.
Yeah. Hey, I'll see you around, eh?
Hey, that's us, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. Great to meet you.
I appreciate it.
Great to talk to you. And, peace.
That's it. Peace. Se kai ia wha.
Aye. Wha Samoa. Nice to see you, brother.
Oh, man.
Okay, I'm out.
Duncan Garner, live.
Okay, as you think, I don't think this thing's... I'm going to carry on. I'm going to carry on with this, baby. Here we go. Now, this online tool... Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate it, mate. This online tool unveiled today by the government to measure the gender pay gap would be totally embarrassing for some industries and some companies. And given it's voluntary, I doubt they'll use it, would they? They're hardly going to go up in lights and say, look at me, I can't do this. But many will, and they may be interested to see that women earn 8% on average less than men exactly for the same work. So the same work men and women do, the same work, same job, that women are still 8% behind. Now, if we do the same stuff we've always done, in this, it'll be glacial by the time we get there. By 2068, we'll get there. Equal pay will get there by 2068. Now, as a father of 2 daughters, and despite the chat we just had, no thanks, we can get there earlier, can't we? The last government was going to force feed this and make our businesses have to mandated the gap. So it would have been mandatory to do this. It was an embarrassment waiting to happen. So National's taken the hard edges off it, made it voluntary, and they've released this stuff today. So it's going to be a voluntary. You go in there and you put it into the system, and you'll see what the gap is in your industry or your business. I doubt National would ever force businesses to report this as a matter of law. I don't think they'll ever mandate it. But it means that progress will be slower as a result, and I predict we'll still be waiting decades for this to resolve itself. Some companies have done amazingly well. Auckland Airport, NZTE, ANZ, Russell McVeigh, they're leading lights and doing really well. But to get there involves serious focus. I spoke to some of these guys today who are doing this work, some of the CEOs of these industries, and they've got some serious focus on it. And they're employing and empowering women. It doesn't just happen. You have to be really motivated to do it. So what they're doing is they're going out of their way to make sure it happens, and they're getting results. But it's now 2024, and there's way more awareness. There's one guy, I won't name him, but he said to me today, he said to the whole crowd, he said, well, I used to hire people like myself, white and sporty. And there's your issue. He hired guys white and sporty. He didn't hire brown people. He didn't hire women. He hired people that were white and sporty. So there's way more awareness to this now, and there's simply no excuse to pay a woman less than a man for doing the same job. It's almost impossible to make an argument for it. Never justify it, you can't justify it. And it makes me wonder, given that this happens, this has been happening for so long, why is it going to be taking so much longer just to fix it? We have this increased awareness of it, so why is it going to take so long still? It shows and it proves that we still have these massive pockets of conservatism in New Zealand, sort of old school conservatism. This is my way, mate, my way or the highway sort of thing, you know? So never lose sight of what the fight is. Never give up the fight. You'll get there, but does it have to take until 2068? Same job, man and woman, and still women are 8% behind. Does it have to take another 40-odd years? I don't think so. That's me.
Duncan Garner, live.
Okay, so you can't hear me, can you, Isaac? We've got issues in the control room.
No, I'm good
you
now.
got
I'm
me
good. I
back.
fixed it.
That was a bit different, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. Great energy.
He's out the gate, isn't he?
Oh, yes.
He's just this is what social media has done. It has opened up. These guys have got their own channels.
Yeah,
I think it's good.
Yep. I mean, that's like you were saying, that's free speech.
Well, it used to just be a few voices.
Yeah.
That controlled the debate in New Zealand and the world.
Yep.
Now it's not, right?
Yeah.
Look at Rogan.
It's very interesting.
This dude Setu is cool. I'll hear him out. Silence is not an option. Re the Hikoi. Team Stephen Setu. Yes, here's Joseph. Trump's already making changes, and and Moana has said it's systematic or systemic bias. Yeah, it's systemic bias. That's what it is when it comes to the pay. It's going to take a long time to fix that. That's us. This will be available as a podcast on Rover shortly, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for your feedback and your support. Always appreciate it. I'm Duncan at rover.nz. Get in touch if you think we should be covering something we're not. Make sure that you let us know. If you think you should be on the podcast, then let us know. To my team, the man in charge, Isaac, thank you, sir. Yeah, the man. Forrester, who's at large, which basically means he's not here. We'll call him editor at large. Thank you, guys. We'll do this all again tomorrow. Remember, life is no dress rehearsal. There's no curtain raiser to all this. This is it. We live in one of the best places on earth, so get out and enjoy it. Enjoy your evening, and take care, New Zealand. Ta-da.
That was Duncan Garner, Editor-in-Chief Live. Missed something on the live stream? Text Duncan to 3598 to listen back on the podcast. Want to get in touch? Call 0800 863 293.